Okay, streaming is started. Done. Let's see if we get data. Great, we're getting data. Also for screen capture, we should have. Okay. All right, great. So now audio capture is happening.
Hello.
Okay, yeah. Keep it for. Let me just hear the audio. We're getting data. All right, great. So now audio capture is happening.
Hello.
Okay, yeah. I'll keep it close to just see if my audio is better. So now audio capture is happening. Okay, yeah. I'll keep it close to just see if my audio is better. Definitely helps. A bit of echo, but I don't know how I can fix that right now. Probably changing the gain might make it better. I think gain is 0, so that right now. Probably changing the gain might make it better. Okay, this is 0 gain. Gain is 0, so that right now. Probably changing the gain might make it better. Okay, this is 0 again. Gain is 0, so that right now. Let's turn it up and see the max gain. Let's turn it up and see the. No, that's definitely bad. So let's lower the gain again. Sorry for the audio. Sorry for the audio. Okay. What are we doing today? Sorry for the audio. Okay. What are we doing today? Volume. Alright. Cool. So I'll try to speak loudly so that like we can all hear. Volume. Alright. Cool. So I'll try to speak loudly so that like we can all hear. It should not interfere. Alright. Let's go. See, a lot of time has been wasted. So let's get back to it. Let me change the stream title. That is. It should not interfere. Alright. Let's go. See, a lot of time has been wasted. Learning. Let's get back to it. Let me change the stream title. It should not interfere. Alright. Noob. Learning. Machine learning. ML learns machine learning. Okay. Great idea. Okay, we'll start with defining the objective. So the objective for today is that like we all know ChatGPT and I can make we can all build like AI apps using ChatGPT apps, but the idea for today is to go more in depth and actually build things from scratch, not using ChatGPT, which is already a model, but maybe like making our own custom model and maybe using some modules that helps you build models. So I don't have complete understanding. All I know right now is I know a bit of Python. I in my career I never worked on Python. I've recently started like using Python in a couple of projects, and so I know the basics. And for like other complicated syntax stuff, we have Cursor and we also have ChatGPT. So we will use that for any doubt we have. We will use ChatGPT or Cursor to bring out the syntax. But the idea is to learn the basics and to learn, understand how machine learning works, what goes behind the scenes, how can we can. I recently read an article about fine tuning, so we will also learn more about fine tuning. We will learn about building a custom model. We'll learn about how to train a model, how to get data sets. So a lot of things to be learned, and I think it would be a fun stream learning machine learning together. It also will help us. So when you understand the basics, it really improves your understanding of the overall concept. So we do know that. So let us take ChatGPT for example. When we give it an input, it does a lot of things in the behind, but what it does is pass it on to an LLM. The LLM is also already trained. What it is doing is trying to predict the next token. So when you ask a question like who is the Prime Minister of India, what is, so it already has a lot, it has already been trained on a lot of data that exists on the internet. What it's doing is searching that data and predicting what the next token is. um, and it's really good at it because it has been trained specifically for that, and that's why a lot of different models are trained for specific things. So some models are, that's why you see different versions of ChatGPT, because they are trained in a different model. So what is training a model? What is a model? I will try to like build our own model. We'll try to do a lot of stuff that we have never previously done. I have never previously done. So it would be a fun exercise just to see how we can build a model from scratch, how we can train a model, and can we fine tune a model. So yeah, I don't even know what the model will do, but we'll see and we'll work around. So let me just go to TL draw to define our objective for today. This was like a project that I was doing in my last live stream. Let's just do it here. Okay. मशीन लर्निंग, थोड़ा सा जूम इन करते हैं. मशीन लर्निंग बेसिक्स. I think building a model, training a model, fine tuning a model. We will keep adding more stuff into this, but that's what we know, like that's the basics that machine learning is. Okay, we make machine is learning, so our model is learning, and then we are like fine tuning is basically like for example, if the accuracy of the model to, let's say, predict something is 50%, fine tuning is basically improving the accuracy. That is what I understand till now. Okay, so we'll start with building a model. Simply search for how to build a model from scratch in Python. I will pick Python. I don't want to watch video. I think it's better to read articles than watching videos. Panda, Numbis, Keel, Kitler. We'll also like look through what all these are. Let us pick the data. Towards it. Where is my model? I'll pick the right problem here. Continue reading. I have for this is go to medium.com. Towards data science. Towards data science. I'm just using the keywords to search for the article. Just remove it from scratch. A trash example. Article. From scratch. Okay. What is what are we doing? Essential steps. Building language models. Large language models. Language models. What is the difference between language models and other models? Other language models are specially focused on understanding and generating human language, unlike other models. Okay, so it's a like a subcategory, basically focused on understanding and generating human language. Okay, so understanding like context in English language and outputting. So the input needs to be in English and the output needs to be in English. In a computer vision model, the input needs to be either a video or an image. Output would be, I have no idea what the output would be. So let's see. Dang. Okay, this is, I think this is going a bit high level. I think to start with, build your own transformer from scratch. Neural network from scratch will not be. Let's go to ChatGPT. I'm doing a live stream about learning machine learning as a newbie. I don't know whether ChatGPT would understand Noob, but let's say as a newbie. I want to own model from scratch using Python. Can you recommend articles that explain as well, give a hands-on tutorial? Okay, guide to building your first machine learning model in Python. Introduction. Building machine model is cool. Your first model should not be complex and messy. No, it is your first attempt and have fun doing. Most model was a linear regression model for predicting housing prices based on apartment prices. My second, so I've done this. So basically, okay, can I draw this? See, it's like this is a graph, right? Like if now you know the like this is x-axis and this is y-axis. All right. Now, you have data about these prices. So based on like this, you can predict like if given an x value, you are basically trying to predict the y value, and that is called linear regression. that's why ठीक है linear model for predicting house pricing. The second predictor house pricing based on location. Then third predictor house pricing with size, location, type only. Train model around time series data set that will be determined and all these are fun activities to what I let it. Building a simple machine learning model using for a simple system. Okay. It's good to start from the scratch. So we're building a linear regression model to rate how prices with size, to and location, latitude, longitude. When the data analyst should have access to relevant data. Usually this is served to you on platters. Part of the data analyst work to convert raw data into a clean data set. So data analyst. So data analyst's job is to like find data on the internet and provide it in a clean data set. It does look messy. Doesn't matter. We're here to learn. Focus. My favorite. Preparing data. Data should have access to relevant data. Usually, this isn't up to you on a separate part of data analysis work to convert raw data into clean data set that should provide meaningful insight. Pick your favorite tools, Python, MS Excel, and so on, and dive deep into three activities. My favorite is to cleaning and studying the nature of my data set. For example, I'll use to study data stored in CSV Excel format before inputting it into Python. This is considered good practice. Unique style of experiment. How you research questions should always be your guiding compass. First, explore null values and how they will impact your analysis. More 50% null values. He should have given us the sheet to see the results of these operations. Okay, we are learning about cleaning data. What are the degree of relation quotient between dependent and independent variables? This is a lab model. You need to set specific standards. This is how building a simple model that provides you with a baseline standard. But it's a simple regression model. The baseline metric is derived from your target mean. A simple models mean absolute error. Let's see how this can be done. And the greenhouse prices and regression. I think there must be a better article. Machine learning prediction for the total body function. Simplifying to put this was really fascinating. Interesting comment. Okay, good things from the article. He took some basic concept like predicting house prices and also told us about like the basic model, which is linear regression model. But what can be better done is the problem with that is it's way too boring. It's boring in the sense that like although it teaches a lot of stuff, it is all text, no visuals. It makes it hard for people to understand what exactly he's talking about. So I have some context, so I understand a little bit of what he was saying. And if you're going to talk about data sets and if you're going to talk about um, cleaning the data set, I think you should definitely provide the data set for people to perform such operations that you're talking about. So okay, let's go to your first machine learning project in Python step by step. Okay, step by step. I like the sound of it. Your first machine learning project in Python step by step. Do you want to do machine learning using Python but you're having trouble getting started because you will complete your first machine learning project? This sounds promising. Instead download install Python SciPy and get the most useful package for machine learning Python. Load our dataset structure using statistical summaries and data visualization. So I think what we'll be doing is we'll be also plotting, we'll be seeing it in a visual form as well, along with the statistical summary. This is a new word for me. I have never create 6 machine learning models. Pick the best and build confidence that the accuracy is reliable. If your machine learning begin looking familiar, it was designed for you. Kickstart your project with my new book. Good. I guys, if you find like good output from this article, I would recommend buying the book. Person is regularly updated till January 2020. Okay, so it's pretty old. That's not a problem with like ChatGPT. Why is it not recommending like suggest articles written, because a lot of things change over the years, right? So we want articles written in 2025. First, still, when you small end-to-end project, right? Hello world of machine learning. Is it a paid article? No. Okay. There's no Python scripty libraries required for this. Okay, also we need to set up a GitHub repository for all our code. So just let me create one. Machine learning basics. I wish I was a good singer. I would have entertained you guys while I do like simple stuff like opening cursor. I think it's opening a lot of my old projects. Let's close this, and we'll need item 2. Okay, I'll show you this. CD downloads code Python, make a directory, machine learning basics. CD machine learning basics, and we go cursor dot. This opens up cursor in the current folder. We can minimize it or we can keep it here. Till then we can come back here. I hope you have Python installed. There's a lot of Python setup tutorials and it's very complicated and it differs from system to system. So I would recommend going to YouTube, say how to set up Python. It took me a while to set up Python properly. I still don't understand. I still don't remember how I like set it up. But based on your system, go on YouTube and search and find tutorials specifically on how to set up Python on your system. What we need to do after like Python is set up, so we need to create a virtual environment. Where do we need to create a virtual environment? So all the packages that we are going to install are going to be specifically for this virtual environment. So the command for that is python minus, so I usually like Python 3, let's see, Excel minus m vn. So we are getting a virtual environment called virtual environment, and then we like go inside the virtual environment by going source virtual environment bin and activate. So now you see we are inside the virtual environment. So if I create a file called app.py and we go print hello world and we run it by calling python 3 app.py, enter hello world. So yeah, that is our basic example. Let's just set up git init, git. We'll have to add a git ignore file so that we don't push the virtual environment. Git ignore, and we'll add venv. So now if you go git and git commit initial commit push. Oh no, we need to add the origin first. Where, like, how is it supposed to know where to push, right? So git remote add origin, git remote add origin paste, git push origin main, and now we will see the code being pushed, and we'll see the code right here. Great. Alright, so it is asking us to install these 5 libraries. We will go and see exactly what these libraries do. So let's do Skippy first. Skippy. What does Skippy do? Algorithms for optimization, integration, interpolation, eigenvalue problems, algebraic equations. So a lot of mathematical stuff. What's the other one? NumPy. And let's go another one, that is Panda. Highly optimized implementation in low level language like for okay. So I guess like a lot of maths has been already done to it. It does provide a lot of algorithm. Once we start using it, we will have a better understanding. Good question. People ask, what is Skippy in Python used for? It provides algorithm for optimization. Didn't get much, but okay. So large multidimensional arrays and matrices along with large collection of high-level mathematical functions. Okay, Panda. Data manipulation and analysis. Data function series. Okay. Done. Matplotlib is for plotting like UI stuff. sklearn, we'll see sklearn. sklearn, machine learning. Oh, it's a machine learning plan. Common free and open source Python library for machine learning, built on top of numerical and statistical libraries like NumPy and SciPy. Simple and efficient tool for data mining, data analysis, and building predictive models. Okay. We'll start with like building a simple model, and we will come to language models in the future. So things we have done till now. Building a model, maybe we can like back to content. Okay. Huh? जब तक ये रीड लोड हो रहा है तब तक हम बात करते हैं अबाउट द चैलेंजेस विद कोडिंग. आई थिंक लाइक the reason a lot of people are not because it looks scary, it's hard. People are used to like reading English, and then they see all this brackets and semicolons and stuff, and it looks scary. We need to make it more approachable. We want more people in coding. I think so. I think like the future, since like AI is going to take such a big leap, people need to understand their machines better so that they can control it, and use it in the right way rather than just being dependent on some big corporation doing all the stuff for them. So that's my take. But machine learning basics, let me I'm going to increase the size. Wait a second. इसको बढ़ाते हैं साइज को. ठीक है. फर्स्ट पॉइंट था building our own model. ठीक है. Yeah, I wanted to like write more on this. Yeah. So building our own model में the first thing that we have done is we have looked through packages. So packages that we have looked through is Skippy. We have gone through NumPy. We have seen Panda, and we have also seen Skitlearn. Sklearn. Okay, Sklearn. Okay. I think these are very common. Like I remember my school college project. I built a predictive model. I didn't actually like build it myself. We found it on the internet and we made some changes and made it work. So, but today that's not the case. We're actually like learning and building it from scratch. So these are the packages that we've learned. Next, let's see. Why does it keep loading? Like, what exactly is it loading? Okay, so I'll just install these, right? So what we need to do is we need to do pip install, and we go numpy panda. Actually, let's just see how many packages are like given to us by default by like Python. So if I go import numpy as np, okay, import panda as pd, okay, import skippy sklearn भी करना है, but oh sorry, skippy is sc, and we're going to import matplot will do, but first we'll do sklearn as sk. Okay, so let's see if I run the project now, like if it throws an error or it runs properly. No model named numpy. Okay, let's comment out numpy. No model named pandas. Okay, comment out pandas. I don't think so that it provides any of these. So sklearn, I'm definitely sure it doesn't provide. It gives you like the basic stuff. For everything else, you just like download the packages. So we'll keep it as it is, and we'll do pip install. So we need pandas, we need numpy, we need sklearn, and we need skippy, and we also need matplotlib. Let it install. We'll come back to here. How to set up Python host, try Python and check versions. Do we really need to do that? The flowers it is used as a hello world dataset in machine learning. You can remember that. Wow, no resolution. Okay, we have okay. sklearn package is deprecated. Use sklearn. Okay. That's what my problem is. So this has been written like Wait, 2029, 2020. So this is not updated to the latest knowledge. We should follow one latest article. I know that we are like digressing a lot, but that's part of the process. It's not that like the first article you find, you read it and like that's how you learn. You need to find the right stuff. It's simple machine learning models. Leap4Geeks is a great website, so I have good faith in it. It close the right side tabs. The problem with using OBS is like the system goes very slow because OBS is a heavy software that takes a lot of RAM. Okay. Linear regression is used to find a relation between a dependent variable with one or more independent variables by fitting a straight line through the data points. I think I explained. The benefits are linear regression ideal for predicting continuous values like sales, prices, or mass. And the difference between actual and predicted value. The output is a linear equation that best fits the given data. It's one of the easiest models to understand and implement, making it perfect for beginners. Okay. Generating the training data. We will generate 100 random data samples, each with 3 features A, B, and C. Okay. So let's create a folder. Why is it? I think because of this pop up. Now let's create a folder called linear regression model. And let's go simple example perl.py. Because we are using the same virtual environment, we don't need to reinstall packages for this. So basically, as I explained before, linear regression models, let me just draw and explain it. So this is how so we have data points, right? What we're trying to do is create a line that, like, even if we are given x, we can predict the y value. Yeah, that's what linear regression is. Let me just write linear regression. Yeah, but we're trying to predict, like, it's not going to be accurate, but it's the simplest example. Okay, import numpy as np, import sklearn, model selection, import train test split. So basically we'll take some data for training and then some data for testing. So np.randomSeed 42, np.randomSeed 42, and A, B, and C features. Okay, let me just go through this. Okay. I have a lot of questions. How does linear regression finds the best fitting line? By minimizing prediction errors. Least square method. Hmm. Oh, we'll do this one. I think it's good to start with. We'll understand like each line so that we understand what we're doing. So package importment makes sense. So we'll import numpy as np and we'll import ski kit learn as sklearn and we need to select model selection. np dot random seed. What does that mean? I have something called a Python project. Explain p dot random seed 42. Okay. And samples a p dot random. Okay. So we have np dot random seed 42 n. So we now have a equals to Python 3. sklearn. Okay. Weird that how much time it's taking. Maybe it's trying to import stuff, or maybe this np dot random seed is taking time. Let's see. Maybe it is random using a deterministic algorithm called pseudo random number. That means numbers look random, but they are actually produced from an internal starting point called a seed. When you set a seed, you fix that starting point. Every time you will run the, you will get the same output. Okay. Why is it needed? Without a seed, you will get different values every year. Okay. So basically in A, if we have created 3 6 9 10 100 and so basically from 0 to 1000 is our range, and we have asked it to pick 100 numbers. This represents an array of 100. Hashtag creates an array of 100 random digits between 0 and 1000. So we have created 3 arrays with different values, and let me just run and see if it generates the same output. What is this? I didn't ask for all this. 20 103 102 था क्या? 102 okay, so this basically random seed values generated. Okay, so if I run B, will it also be the same? Let's see. No, but if I run it again, B will always be same. Great. I don't know how they're doing it, but great. I think that is a great way to generate sample data. Also making sure the sample data is always the same. So if I change the seed, then it will be here. Great. Understand that part. So we understand what it is doing here. X equals to np dot column stack. So we are making 3 columns and each having 100 rows. Not this way. And y equals to a plus 2 times b plus 3 times c. Okay. Can we like multiply? Okay. So let's see. X equals to np dot column and y equals to a plus 2 times b plus 3 times c. Okay, yeah, na? Okay, now let's print out x and we'll print out y. Print out x, print out y. अभी ये सब नहीं कर रहे हैं. Let's see. X to I understand will be, yeah, that is what I expected it to be. It's just 3 columns, and so for the first one we'll have 1 or 2 35. Makes sense. And now what we are doing is a plus 2 times b plus 3 times c. So let's take some smaller values if we have one. 13 plus 875 in times 2, and let's take this first 3 values. And let's also print two times this plus 3 times this, and the extra square bracket डाल देते हैं. I think it should match the first value, which is 3909. Yeah. Okay. Now what we are doing is uh, we are test and split x y. So based on ABC value, we get the y value. Test size 0.2, random state is 42. Okay, let's just length of x string is 80. So we got 80. We had total 100 rows. After 20 rows is given to the test size and 80 is given for training. And we have the input and output for both. We'll train based on the input data. We'll predict the output and we'll see how close it is to the actual y value. Makes sense, right? So I don't need to print all these because I understand that now. So x train, x test, y train, and y test. So if you print if in x train we can see that we got 102, 555, 899. We already calculated. So if we print out y train, we should see 3909 as the first value. We got 3865 as the first value. X train. Might be a different. It was something 39. So what I'm trying to say is 102 plus 2 times plus 3 times. This thing is 909. Why is it value then? String y train. Next test y test. This should be 3909, right? I'll be back. How long are we in the stream? 23 minutes. I'm back. Okay. Yeah, my issue is that like if x train is this, y train needs to be a plus 2 times b plus 3 times c, right? So why is it not matching x trains and x? So let me also check for. Should I check for the second value? I mean, anyways, like the first value should be matching, but let's just try again further. Because all this is doing is it's splitting the array, right? It's just splitting arrays. So if let me check this again. Print x and print y. Okay. We'll print again and we'll see that 3909 is the first value and 102 555 and 899 is the second value. So once we split, we should also get print x train and print y train should be in the same. This is not right. This is not right. Okay, print x is different. Okay, print x train is different. Okay, what did I like? Wait a minute. Let's undo this. Print x train, print x train. Okay. I think I got confused with print x. Alright, I think then we are fine. So if you print x train, print y train, I'll just explain my point. 3685, and if we take 831, 200, and so instead of this we do 831, we do 200 and 818, 200, 818. This should be equals to 3685, which is right. So basically it's what it's doing is like we have multiple rows and it's dividing it into 80 and 20. So 80 rows goes into training dataset and 20 goes into the test dataset. Yep, that is pretty simple like maths. Okay. From sklearn.linear model, import linear regression. So now we are doing some machine learning stuff. Till now we have just created a dataset. Let's write machine learning begins. I made it bigger so that it's easier to see. Okay, from sklearn linear model, import linear regression. We are importing the linear regression model. Model equals to linear regression model, n equals to jobs equals to minus learning. Okay, let's understand what that means. If I write the command, it automatically knows that it needs to explain. Okay, how many CPU cores to use? So it is going to use one use all available CPU cores. Okay, this is interesting. And then this job means controls parallelization. Okay, model dot fit x and y. Model dot fit x train equals to y train. Based on this, it will calculate the weights and what's the model train, model runs coefficient W22 and W3. So I think yeah. The equation of the linear model is y equals to w1 x1 plus w2 x2 plus so on. So y is the predicted output, x1 x2 input features, independent variables, and weights for each feature. So what we have done till now, so we know that y is equals to okay, let me try to explain this here. We have defined y equals to uh, let's say a, b and c, right? So w1 times a plus w2 times b. Why is it not printing it? Star times okay, I'll just use x to avoid confusion. W1 times a, w2 times b plus w3 times c. So once we do this, that's our equation. So these are the questions that we need to like find out. Based our model's job is to find out what should be the value of w1 if given, if we are given a, if we are given b, and if we are given c, then and also the value of y, what should be w1 b, what should be w2b, and what should be w3b. Okay, so what we have done is according to like, because our equation is y equals to a plus 2xp plus 3xc. So we know that like w1 is 1, w2 is 2, and w3 is 3. So w1 equals to 1, w2 equals to 2, and w3 equals to 3. These are the questions that eventually the model needs to predict. Obviously the real data, it's not that simple, but this is just a simple example to show linear regression. Right, so what we're doing is we're giving it a training data of ABC and Y, and it's calculating W1, W2, W3. Once it has calculated that, it will try to then predict the value of the test data, and then we will also check the predicted value with the value that we already know. Yeah, makes sense. Makes quite a lot of sense. Okay, model.fit x train, y train, and check model parameter. Course should be close to 1, 2, and 3, and intercept near 0. So that relation is also. So now if you print model questions, let's uncomment this. Y train is not defined. Okay, sorry, y is kept. Question is 1, 2, and 3, and value is 0. So now we'll validate the so our model is trained. Now we'll try the model to predict values. So y equals to y predicted equals to model dot predict, and we'll calculate the difference between the predicted value and the test value. Okay. mean square error should be 0. Both of these values is just y underscore test and y equals to y underscore. Print r square. Here we will test actual predicted value and visualize it. Okay, I'll also want to like okay, what I want to do before this is np dot column stack my testing my predicted and so predictions. So 1164, 2648, 407, although these values are like bang on. What is the equation for mean squared error? It should be 0. I always want I want to be good at like building UIs for this data because it definitely helps in understanding. So we're going to import matplotlib.pyplot and dot scatter y test y prediction and dot x label two values predicted values. X dot test figure equals to x dot अच्छा x वाले को सॉर्ट कर रहे हैं. I need to understand what this is. MP slicing, so it's a split part. Oh, okay. This is a good example. But for us, like x underscore test is only oh, it is a multidimensional array ABC. So it is only taking all rows but first columns. So it is taking only A's value. And, Okay, so what it's doing is taking, so it is taking X test feature. Okay, sorted index equals to and p dot argument sort X dot test feature. ये भी नहीं सुनना है मेरे को. ये तो समझ में आ गया. Basically what it's doing is कि since we have like 3 columns, we are taking the first column, we're using it for the x values, and y values we know predicted value, and we also know the output values. Then it's sorting those x values, so that like for each point we do that, and we're using the sorted index to sort through the values, and we'll use the same sorted index somewhere here for the y values. We use okay. Okay, ठीक है. Plot or figure fig 6. Let's see what does that mean. There's some width and height. Okay, we'll play around with this a bit, but for now let's just do what it says. So we're plotting a figure. Figure is 10,6. Okay, let's do this. And 8,5. Now we'll scatter the points, right? So we scatter is basically plotting the points. X के लिए we'll use X dot feature sorted index. Y के लिए we use Y test sorted feature, color blue, label actual, label predicted. ठीक है, these two make sense. नहीं. Okay, I don't understand what is S equals to 40. Size of his dot. Okay. Where is it? Okay. And so it doesn't matter which order we plot. So plot now for इसका ये ना है. So for plotting the lines, okay, if I don't do this, I will not see the lines. X label equals to feature A, title linear image shorter, plot legend. Okay, what is plt dot legend? the plot we got. So actual we're not able to see because it's overlapping. Okay, we need to change the size of plot color red. Marker कर दिया इसको. Okay, makes sense. Marker equals to y. So it shows up till it's running. So we were bang on, right? Now to see the lines basically, we'll do plot plt dot plot extension line width, and we'll do sorted index. So this we need to do by sorted index. अदरवाइज ये भी देखते हैं एक बार, ठीक है. So let's do this. We'll see the line. So we see the line, right? This line. Now what we need to do is, if we don't do this, that's going to be funny. It's trying to draw a line between points, but in random order. So we'll see something like this. Yeah, that's messed up. Yeah, we were reading about like what the legend box on the plot. Legend box. What is the legend box? Let me see the legend box once again. I think it's this box, but let's actually test it. Okay. We'll do the sorted index, but we'll not do the legend, and we'll also not do the. Let's do the grid. Yeah. So it was the top box at the top render, and the grid is, I think, this background grid that we are seeing. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty helpful. So yeah, that is our linear regression, like simple model. Now now let us understand what we have done till now. So what we have done is created our own sample data. Now we already knew the relationship between the x values and the y's values, and that's why we already knew the quotient value. And once we trained our model and tried to predict, it was able to calculate the quotients really well, and we got almost zero error because the values were bang on. But that does not happen in real world scenarios. There is not a very like defined relationship. So for example, in this scenario, like if you plot, it will be a straight line, but the real data does not always have a fixed relationship. What it's trying to do is it's trying to find the coefficient which gives the minimum error. That is how the model thinks, and that is what it tries to achieve. And once you do that with actual data, you will find some errors. So yeah, but it's a good example to like create data and see like the how to. So what you've done is, let's write that down. We see a linear regression model. We created a linear regression model. Divide in training and test data set. sklearn for for model training and predicting. Okay, what's next? Okay, this was a very simple model. I think now we need to go a step ahead into something more complicated. If like all of them are doing like a linear regression model, then there's no point. What is TensorFlow? Should we try making an image classification model? Image classification model is, for example, if I hold this image in front of the screen, it captures the image and it tells whether I'm holding an apple or not. So, yeah, building an image classification model from scratch. Python. If it decides to use TensorFlow, that's fine. But we need to know. PyTorch. What is PyTorch? Computer vision library. Okay. Also, deep learning fun is to build neural net command the machine and library of torch with Python based hardware. Okay, let's see. After building linear regression models in Python, what is a good second project to do? Logistic regression. Let's understand what is logistic regression. If we find it interesting, we'll do it. Logistic regression model. Regression model is a supposed machine learning algorithm used for classification tasks, particularly binary classification. Function outcome belong to a specific element modeling. So it is basically to categorical outcome, whether it is an apple and an orange. I read this a great article from one of the people. Liquid. I'm not sure who the guy was, but I wanted to do his machine learning. Let me search. I think he's the founder of Liquid AI. Liquid AI. Real world ML. Real world ML. That's great. He's like great guy. So image classification. Yes. Something like this is pretty exciting because it actually takes a real life use case. It actually we build something that we can actually like interact with, use and see. And visual elements is definitely a great thing when you build stuff. You should be able to like be proud of something that you built. Phone devices. Damn. William is just function that gives an image and a piece of text. Like the prompt outputs another piece of text. In other words, a William is a function that can transform visual information into textual information. Which and within which. And the thing is the textual output and whether are structured and beautifully in. Music classification is nothing. Okay, I'm going to take some break. After the break, we are going to come back with building an image classifier. So, given an image, it will predict whether it is in cat or dog, or we'll see what kind of image classification we do. Great. All right. How long was the stream though? 1 hour 33 minutes. Strong.